fruitarians are superior. Man is a fruitarian. And we're looking at the botanical definition of fruits. And they include juicy sweet fruits, but also non-sweet fruits like tomato and the squashes, eggplant, and also the starchy foods. Corn, peas, beans, rice are fruits. So you can have a starchy breakfast, but it's actually a fruitarian breakfast. Very delicious. Why not? Once you change your diet and become fruitarian, mass attractions are immediate. They're going to come in to see you. People will be attracted to your aura. Don't let them in. Be wise. Build boundaries. You've got work to do. Don't fool around with all that attention-seeking behavior and saying, I'm a fruitarian. Forget all that. Just be fruitarian. If you go around bragging, it'll push you off the wagon. You'll fall. You'll collapse. Stay humble. It's a gift. Seeing it is a gift. And just be it. I've lived with fruitarians before. They're eating all day long. It's low calorie, so they're eating breakfast. Then they're having a melon for lunch and mangoes in the afternoon and just eating all day long. It's very irritating. I prefer doing it my way, having breakfast only plan, high fat or starch like corn, and eating it all in the morning. That gives you total satiety for the day. Then you can be fasting during the day, not eating. That is so irritating to be around people who are always eating and disposing of the watermelon rinds. And no, I don't want that. I don't want to be around that. I want to have a nifty life of getting it all done before dawn. What I like to do is I arise between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. I have my smoothie and everything before dawn, Ramadan type fasting, before dawn, everything like that. Kitchen clean, animals fed, and I like to do all my work in the morning. I make my video, I do whatever else needs done on the ranch, house clean, everything. And then I have the rest of the day free. When I leave my studio, I leave the work there. Now I can be free the rest of the day to listen to music, watch movies, pray, read the Bible, walk around and enjoy the sun to get some vitamin D. We should get at least 5 minutes in the sun every day. And I'm not working because I'm not in the studio. It's a two-speed life. When I'm not there, I don't think about it. But I might get insights, because when you relax, insights come up. But when you're real tense to achieve, it doesn't allow insights to come up. So when I'm out of the studio, I get a lot of insights, write them down, and that goes in the video the next day. Very nifty. That's my routine. Starches are fruits. Not potato, that's a tuber. But corn, peas, beans, and rice are fruit. Yes, they're starchy. They're satiating because they're that way. That's why it makes a comforting breakfast. They're comfort foods. Have that and you'll be fine. Don't let people call it a starch. It's a fruit. You don't have to persuade them, but that's what it is, botanically, and that's all that matters. Your smoothie, maybe alternate the days. One day you can have popcorn, that's a fruit, look it up. One day you can have Mexican, that would be corn tortillas with non-fat refried beans and salsa. Those are all fruits. One day you can have salsa in your rice. Make rice and the liquid part be salsa. There you have Mexican rice. You can alternate that way for your breakfast. And all day long, you will be living off that delicious treat in the morning. Very happy. Let them eat cake. Everybody wants to eat during the day. It's all they do is eat while you're flying high above it all. I was working with you who had fecal incontinence, which is a very isolating thing to have. It happens to older people usually. And she changed her diet to exactly as I told her to. She does exactly what I just said. Smoothie, fruit in the form of corn, peas, beans, or rice, which are all fruits. Look it up. And then fasting during the day. And as I told her, your fecal incontinence is not due to age. It's due to constipation. You have a big block in the colon which is impacted from all the years of wrong eating. It's like a rock. And the new stuff, not to get gross, has to go around it, and then you lose all control, and then that's called fecal incontinence. She eliminated that constipated block. It took about 2 weeks, and she became unconstipated, clear. The colon became clear, and she regained all control. There is no more fecal incontinence at all. So you see, it's all constipation. But medical science may say something else. Oh, you've got IBS, you've got SIBO, you've got all these various things. You have to stay off of these foods. FODMAP, if it's high FODMAP, you can't have it. Mango is high FODMAP, and cashews are high FODMAP. You can't have all this. But if you clear out constipation, you can eat those foods, and then you regain control. So that's just one example. Older people suffer with fecal incontinence. It's a big deal, but nobody talks about it because it's so embarrassing. And it's extremely isolating. They stay in their own home, believe me. So that's just one example of the things that will clear up. Now I feel so good on this diet. Once I added the tahini, the sesame seed paste or butter, to the blender, to my smoothie, wow, I really saw fruit, greens, nuts, and seeds are all in that one smoothie in the morning, and wow, I felt like $1,000,000. And I'm not hungry all day long. And I just fly. And at night, nothing or maybe a few pieces of dried fruit. I don't have to do like the other fruitarians do, get into juicy fruit, go buy a watermelon, and you have all this fruit that's spoiling in the fridge if you don't want to eat it. You have to eat it right away. It starts to spoil. And it's messy. And, they're eating all day long, slurp, slurp. There's rinds all over. No, I don't want that. I want to eat at my desk. Pretty containers of nuts and dried fruit. One here, one here. Very penurious, very simple. It's got all the vitamins in it. Nobody ever sees me eating. I'm always on top. That is the way to live, believe me. Try it, you'll love it. The minute you start to detox by eating fruit, greens, nuts, and seeds only, it's the colon that'll start. You'll see quite an elimination. Now, I don't know if carnivores have a clean colon. According to Arnold Ehret's theory, meat is the biggest mucus former, and they lose weight through reducing water because carbs retain water. So I don't know if they do, but I know that you should expect it. The colon has at least 25 pounds of uneliminated feces in it. What a gross situation. The sewer of the castle. And then it spreads out from there to all the other organs. It's all throughout the body. SHIT, all throughout the body. You'll eliminate the colon first, expect it, and then from there that brings up secondary obstructions. You remove the primary obstruction first, and then there's secondary obstructions throughout the body. And every day you feel better. However, you do go through days when it's in the bloodstream and you may feel horrible. Expect it. Cleansing and all the toxicity isn't always nice. A lot of people go to a detox clinic and just stay in the bed for a couple months, while they detox. But I think it will be a good situation. You're eating, you're not altogether fasting, you're fasting part of the day, but you're eating, and you're eating cleansing foods, so every day you'll be cleaner and happier. You'll see it in the mirror, you'll be thinner, the weight will go down, other people will compliment you, you will just feel so much better, and you'll leave civilization behind. Then you'll start going to grocery stores and noticing what they have in their cart. And you'll look at their body and you'll, aha, I see, aha. Oh, of course, yeah, that's what she's eating, yeah. And look at her kids, they're eating the same thing, and you'll notice that. You'll notice a bunch of things. How people are preoccupied with meals and doing lunch and eating out, and you don't want to do it anymore, and they look at you funny. And all of a sudden your social life will change. You won't hang out with the same people, and since you don't want to eat what they eat, they don't want to hang out with you either. They don't want to face it. They don't want to even talk about it. When people are addicted to food, they don't want to hear from you. So your social life will change, your body's going to change, and your environment will change. You will suddenly see, I don't want all this bric-a-brac around here. I don't want all those things there. They're just dust collectors. What do I need all these cups and dishes stored up there at the top of I don't need that. And everything is going to change in your environment. You will want a much simpler, Zen, simplicity environment. So everything's going to change in your life because food is the third obstruction. People are the first obstruction, sin or habits is the second, and food is the third, and they're all important. And when you change your diet, your whole life's going to change, and it will be wonderful compared to the old life, which was miserable. You will notice something in your people who are always taking selfies of themselves in the physiognomy. When you're in sin, or thinking wrong thoughts, or held down by people in a sick relationship, or eating wrong, the face will get very lopsided or bloated. You will lose all your charisma. If you're a good-looking person and everything fits, if you're in sin, it'll all flip and look crazy. You don't want that. You want to be photo ready at all times. Stay on the plan. Don't slip off. Don't stay in sick systems because they will bring you down. Get out of sin. That's very uglifying. Be clear. That's the way you do it. Yes, I lived in such hardship. One would look at it, most people would look at it, in a tiny dusty shack for 26 years, commuting with a bicycle up to the store in 120-degree heat. I lived that way, and it made me adapt in a certain way. In order to adapt to society, which didn't accept me, because I did live that way, I preferred to live way out there rather than in town. They couldn't figure me out. I was very different. I had a Ph.D., but nobody believed that or cared. I didn't have anything in common with anybody. They were all liberals. And so that made me adapt in a certain way. I never wanted to be seen eating. I wanted to be on top of things at all times. If somebody came into my tiny dusty cabin, I wanted it to be immaculate as a compensatory gesture over their misjudgments of me. So you see, our situation makes us adapt in a certain way, and that's the way the Lord wants us. And so I carried that over to my new life. That's how I adapt. Rough circumstances make you adapt. Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong men. Strong men create good times. It's all adaptation. We adapt. And it was so stringent. It was extremely hard the way I lived for 26 years. But the way I adapted made it okay, made it wonderful. And I was happy. And I didn't even want to leave. Adaptation is the whole thing with man. A human ethologist. How man adapts to his environment. man adapts to his environment. If it's crazy, he becomes crazy. He maladapts. He's like any animal in the wild. So what should the environment be like? Well, I guess people would say that's a matter of preference. Some people like the house like a library, Zen simplicity, a place for everything in its place, nothing left out, like a hotel. That's why I like it. Other people like the lived-in look. Stuff scattered everywhere, projects here and there, a bunch of trash cans. I don't want to look down into a trash can. It's disgusting. I want one trash can in the utility room with a top on it, not trash cans all over the place looking down, especially in the bathroom. That's horrible. I want things like a hotel. Extremely simple, everything put away and dusted. Housekeeping is so much easier if you reduce 95% of the clutter. Then it's just dusting and sweeping, that's it. But okay, so it's impossible for somebody who's a neatnik like me, who wants it like a hotel, to live with somebody who wants the lived-in look. Now, I'm not saying inferior or superior, higher or lower, let's not get into that, but I can't stand it. And if somebody wants to live with me and they live like that, stuff everywhere, clutter, forget it. I would go insane. Man adapts to his environment. I can't stand it. I want things so neat, and every desk neat, like a doctor's office or a library, a monastery, something like that. It's very important before you marry or have a roommate or even somebody staying with you for a few days. You're going to end up enemies if one of you is a neatnik and the other is not. If the other could care less and just, no big thing. What's the big deal here? That kind of attitude, not understanding how important the environment is. It's a matter of looking into the eyes. If it's a bunch of chaos, it brings depression. You want things neat. It's a matter of what the eye sees. So that's my opinion on the environment. It's ultra important to me. And no, she can't live with me. If I had somebody live with me, they'd be using the kitchen all day long. I don't live like that. I have my smoothie in the morning. By the way, I have the fruit like berries or mango or strawberries, a lot of greens in the blender, and I love, and a little bit of superfoods, and I love tahini and almond butter in it. It makes all the difference in the world. The tahini is sesame seed paste. It's used all through the Middle East. It's filled with nutrition. There you have your seeds. Man is a fruitarian. Fruit, greens, nuts, and seeds. Everything's in the blender. Boy, that tahini. I could have walked up the highest mountain this morning. I felt so strong on it. It's really good. There's so much nutrition in seeds. I recommend organic tahini. You can get it at Amazon for your blender. And then I like non-fat refried beans. That's a fruit. Look it up. Salsa, that's a fruit. And corn tortillas, that's a fruit. Corn. That's it for the day. Maybe at night, if I have to have something, a few pieces of dried fruit, mango or papaya. Papaya for the digestive. But that is an excellent thing. An absolutely excellent day. You start out with maximum nutrition, super nutrition, and you don't need to eat all day. But most people don't live that way. They gotta do lunch and do dinner and snacks, and they're always in the kitchen. I would not want to live with somebody who's always cooking in the kitchen, because I don't see a reason for it. I want a nifty lifestyle, eat in the morning, things I have worked out and studied and know it's the highest nutrition, work all day happily in a Fruitarian consciousness, and if anything at night, a few pieces of dried fruit. That's it, at my desk. Or nuts. Fruit, greens, nuts, and seeds. And fasting, daily fasting. But that is such a Spartan lifestyle. Who could adapt to that? You think I could have somebody live with me out of the blue? How could they adapt to that, and how could I adapt to them? There's no way. I fear that the most. I really fear something like that's going to happen. Well, I'll have to do that. But this is a very different lifestyle, and I would recommend checking somebody out before you roommate with them. Authority should be earned. This is what I wrote in my journal. If authority is earned, they speak calmly. Competence, composure, depth, precise, thoughtful. Not a loudmouth. Not domination, but precise communication. Thoughtful. That's how you gain authority. No other way. Not through gossip or trying to bring down the opponent or shaking hands or connections or networking. No, that isn't the right way. But to just be good. About the narcissistic female I've been talking about, this is what she needs to ask herself. When was I blind, prideful, lazy, or emotionally reactive? There's a moral satisfaction to blame, to feel right rather than change. It feeds the ego. That's what every narcissist should be asking themselves, but they can't face themselves. You dare complain about one thing or try to correct them, they go wild in blaming you. That's really the signpost of the narcissist. Try to correct them and they'll go wild. One more thing. Narcissists are not interested in mutuality, but power. Their whole goal is control, attention, and validation on their terms. If you have one in your life, read those words over and over again. That's what it is. It's impossible. There's no mutuality. There's no working things out. The only thing to do is to graduate beyond their control and then let them go. Become rich, become a nobody. Become small. If you want God's power, become small. He becomes strong for those who are weak. Don't try to, do it on your own. Do it through prayer. Be humble, and He will come in. Decrease, and He will increase. Don't go around bragging you're a Fruitarian and all that. That's very sophomoric. Immature people do that. Just use that power and do your work. It'll give you the power to do your work. That's the point, not bragging.